Ministry in a Minute is a devotional presentation of the Crossroads School of Ministry. Whatever platform you're on, like, share, subscribe, help us get the word out about the Crossroads School of Ministry. And if you are a ministry leader or church leader or someone called to vocational ministry and you need training, Crossroads School of Ministry can help. Check us out online at crossroadsom.org, the Crossroads School of Ministry. Hey everybody, welcome to the Crossroads School of Ministry, Ministry in a Minute. Listen, tomorrow night we're going to go through the book of Ruth, chapter 3. I've already said several times, I love this book. It's so foundational to what happens in the Old Testament stories of the kings. It's being set up, and it's such a great example. We've got these beautiful examples in this book of how we should follow God. Boaz is just such a man of godly character. I'll talk about that tomorrow night. Ruth, just a wonderful picture of how God can take something that is not supposed to be right, a Moabite, and comes from the wrong side of the tracks and turns into something good. So there's just so much in this beautiful book. But in this second part, yesterday in the Ministry in a Minute, I mentioned quickly that Naomi loved her daughter almost more than herself. She was beginning to put Ruth first because Ruth had put her first. And then in the next few verses, what we see is this beautiful submissive spirit by Ruth. And it'd be easy to read that and say, yeah, women should submit. I'm not talking about male-female relationships here. I'm talking about our willingness as God's people to submit to Him. And Ruth basically says, hey, God's already got a plan here. Again, we'll talk about that tomorrow night. God had already spoke. There's a way in which these women should have gotten help from their family. And Boaz fit into that box. Okay? But Ruth basically says, Naomi, I'll do whatever you say. I'll do whatever God says. And she submits to His will. And then what's even more beautiful is she takes a step. She does something with that. It's in God's will. And then she does something, and that leads to God working in beautiful ways. And so we have to submit, but we also have to act. For us, I read Ephesians chapter 4, and there's this, Paul gives us this list: be humble, be gentle, be kind. There's all those things, and it's beautiful. But we have to do them and do them in a way that God says to do them, to the people God puts in our lives to live them out with. And then we watch Him work. So we submit. We love faithfully, and then God blesses. God does things that we don't expect. God does things in ways we don't see. God changes us and the people around us. It's a beautiful picture that Naomi and then Ruth and then Boaz paint for how to follow Him. And it's one of my favorite things about the book of Ruth. All right, tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, we're going to go through chapter 3. We'll have another Ministry in a Minute tomorrow morning, and hope to see you at both of those places.